There's 4 of us. My brother-in-law, Louis Vance, is almost more like a brother to me than a brother-in-law. And my sister, more like a sister-in-law, because I work with my brother-in-law every day. And you know, we still love each other. We never even have a cross word with each other, believe it or not. 4 of us work together running that company. We 4 own it equally. My dad was the oldest in his family. My mother was the youngest. My dad had a football scholarship in college. He went to college on a football scholarship. My mother, the money was run out when she went to college. She was valedictorian of her high school class and her college class. So between the 2 of them, Daddy would have sold me the company. Mama said, no, all 4 of them get the company. And so we bought it out, and we worked together. I mean, it's a miracle of a family business. I know people say, you mean you 4 guys work together and don't get in fist fights? I said, no, we never even been in a fist fight. We didn't even cuss at each other. We love each other, believe it or not, and run Bill Miller Barbecue. My dad died about 12 years ago, and as I said, since I had always kind of worked in the ranches with him from time to time, well, I kind of took over those 3 places and hired a foreman and a helper, and we were running 400 cows out there and probably 20 head of limousine bulls. And I'd go out there working south at San Antonio, and you know, I love Bill Miller's for lunch. And you know, we'd have to drive all the way to town. I thought, you know, that's funny. We ought to try to open some places on the outskirts of San Antonio. And the first one we did was 1604 and 37 South. And that store, I mean, my brother said, oh no, that's out in the middle of nowhere. There's no growth out there. That's out in that sugar sand. It ain't going to do no business out there. And I said, well, let's give it a try. And I couldn't get the hard corner. There's an Exxon on the hard corner. Then it had old Gigi Gale sitting there. You know Gigi. Take you anything for a down payment. Diamond Wing, the ex-wife, and old Bean Pot, you know Gigi. They ain't making no more land. Come on. And Gigi, I know him do business, but Gigi's a great fisherman. But you know, I buy that 3rd site down off the corner right there, and it worked out real good. So we said, well, that worked out pretty good. Let's go over there on I-35 in Lila in Boerne. So we went over there to Lila, Texas, right on I-35, and old Fully Klingman was president of HEB then. He said, hey, Balous, you need to get over there to Lila. Man, we're doing a lot of business in HEB at Lila. I said, well, I'll get right next year there. So I went out there in Lila, and we opened up a Bill Miller's on the interstate highway again, on I-35, on the way to Laredo. And man, it did it did as much as more than some of those restaurants on good corners in San Antonio, Texas, on the north side of town. And guess what? It was easy to get help. The help wasn't expensive. The people had work ethic. They knew how to work. The girls knew how to make biscuits. When you asked them, they didn't say, well, how do you make biscuits? Well, you hit the deal on the corner of the table and twist it and put them in the pan. You know? Some of them in San Antonio, that's what they tell you. That's how to make biscuits. They say, well, you take that thing and you hit that table there and give it a twist and lay them in the pan and bake them up. Don't hire them kind of girls. Oh, no. They ain't gonna do you any good. But these girls knew how to put the flour and the baking powder, and they knew how to make biscuits. They knew how to do things. They knew how to make their bed in the morning. You make your bed in the morning. Yes, I do make the bed. They knew how to sweep. They knew how to mop. We got good employees in those little towns. So we said, okay, let's go one more. And we went to Floresville. 181, one interstate highway. 181 and 97, right there in Floresville, Texas, on 181 bypass. We couldn't believe it. Did a great business. I mean, we couldn't believe the business we did in Floresville. You know, what's in Floresville, right? It's not an interstate highway. You know, interstate highway, that's one thing, being on I-35 or being on I-37. Well, it did very good. We went to Pleasanton next. We went to 281 and 97, the hard corner. You know how Bill Miller says, we buy the best property, just like we did here in your town. We come along, and Ken will tell you, we persevered. We paid his price, and then we had to pay more to get there to close that deal. But we paid his price, and then we paid more. Right, Ken? And we got that corner over there. We buy the best property. We opened up in Pleasanton. Well, it hadn't been quite as good, but it has worked out. It even does more than some San Antonio stores. But I mean, it hadn't worked out. It hadn't worked out as well as some of the others, but it's working out. Okay. Well, then next we have bought this site here in Castroville. We bought a site over in Seguin on I-10, right there at 46. And I guess this will be the next one that we build. So we continue to venture out into the suburb cities of San Antonio. So far it's worked out well for us. And we hope that this work out well for us here. I put up, is that picture up there? Well, I got a picture of what we plan on building there. We're still working on our layout. And I'll tell you what a wonderful, for all you people to come here today, this is the first time of all those cities we've been to, this is the first chamber that's asked us to come and talk to them. We've gotten letters from people that live in Castroville. We have gotten calls from people that live in Castroville. We've gotten a petition from people here in Castroville at this time. And they say, we want a nice looking store, and so that's what we want to do here in Castroville. And with that site over there, it's real unique. You know, I walked in here and I saw all those catfish heads that Sammy had up there. And I thought, I've been thinking I'm going to set some lines out down on this river here. Hey, I was raised on the Medina River. I don't bait with worms, I bait with live perch. I know what them yellow cats bite. And well, I go there and look at that water and look at those cypress trees. I think I'm going to set me some lines out along here. We want to do something different there. We hope to have some. When we opened in Helotes, we did some outdoor dining. And you know, you think San Antonio's too hot, too humid. People won't eat outside. You can't believe all the people. I mean, it's always filled up. That outdoor dining that we have there in Helotes is always filled up. So we're going to try to build a deck. On this side here, our plans are to cantilever a deck out over that river bottom there. You're probably not going to have a lot of seating out there, between 50 and 80 people on a hardwood deck that will be cantilevered out. And then there's a road. We want to leave that road there that's there now, the old highway, where people can drive into the bottom. We're planning on cleaning up that river bottom, trying to clean it up, get the old, there's a lot of junk down there that needs to be cleaned up. And someone's said, well, you got the old pool and all that concrete. I can't tell you at this point. We haven't gotten that far. But we do want to clean it up. We'd like to have some picnic tables down there and maybe do some catering down there sometime. But we want to build a deck. We're going to try to loop our drive-through on this side, which would be the south side of our building. We think we have enough queue there for 12 or 13 cars, 6 or 7 before the bell and 6 or 7 after the bell to the window. And so we're able to keep that drive-through on the south side of the building. We'll be able to build that deck out. You know, normally our drive-through goes around behind our buildings. So if we're able to keep that drive-through on this line, we think TxDOT's going to cooperate with us and give us a two-way approach right there on 90. Not where it is now. It will be further west than the approach that's there now. So the approach is going to come further west. It should be a two-way approach. We will have a conflict of people coming into 471. You know, if we have a stacked-up drive-through, there could be some, you know, standoff right there, people trying to get in. But we think that'll be. Won't happen a whole lot. We hope the best for this store in Castroville is, I always think of them just like drilling an oil well. You know, you drill an oil well, you don't exactly sure what you're going to hit. But if you got wells all around, you know, they always say closeology is better than geology any day, right? And so, you know, we hope the store will work out. We don't expect it to be real busy to start off with. We expect it to be kind of slow probably, but you know how businesses are always busy the first month they're open, and then they settle into their routine. It'll fall off maybe half of what it was the first month you were open. We don't expect it to be a lot of business. We're not on the interstate highway. We're not in a big city here, but we expect it to be a good, fair business for us. But what we hope is that over the years we think it'll grow to be a very successful store for us. So those are our plans. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. Again, I want to thank you for inviting me here today. What a pleasure to be amongst so many people and be amongst my friends. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Balous, there was a guy from Grubs and Ellis that was quoted in January the 20th Express News that Castroville was the next Boerne. You live in Boerne. How do you see that?
I don't know why it wouldn't be. You know, people want a little town with a main street, a city council, a mayor. I know, yeah, I read about that too. But again, you know, these are little blips is all that they are on a giant radar screen. So you don't here you have level land. You don't have an aquifer to fool with. I've often wondered why Castroville didn't grow faster than what it has grown. You got level land to build on, no aquifer that you're building over necessarily. All this level land between here and San Antonio, I think that it absolutely could happen. And as a result of that, you know, when we came here, we didn't buy one piece of land. We bought more. We bought another tract up there, and our daddy always said, land's better than money in the bank. And And so, you know, when we came here and started looking, we said, hey, this is a pretty good piece, let's buy it and just land bank it. We don't plan on using it. We said maybe we can sell it in future years and make some money on it. So, I mean, we think Castroville is going to grow, and we see no reason that it shouldn't grow. So, Boerne is unique. I mean, it's got a German heritage like here. I mean, the city council, our old mayor there is a Methodist minister, and he's a Rice graduate, and this is his last year, but it's very well run. They do things right. I don't know why Castroville couldn't do as well. I think that it will, in answer to your question. Anybody else? Again, thank you all for having me here, and what a wonderful welcome. Thank you.